Hey, what's up guys? What's for dinner here and Dutchbat for Cortana Gaming, and today we are going to talk about World of Tanks.
Hello everybody, this is Dutchbat here to talk about World of Tanks. World of Tanks is a massive multiplayer online game that revolves purely around tanks. You have 5 different kind of tanks. You have the light tanks, you have the medium tanks, you have the heavy tanks, you have the tank destroyers, and you have the SPGs, aka self-propelled guns. The light tanks are for scouting, medium is for group battles, the heavy tanks are more big chunks of armor with a big gun. The tank destroyers are like the sniping tanks. They stay behind the lines and pick off tanks. And then you have the self-propelled guns, which are basically artillery tanks. What I'm trying to show you right now is me equipping a tier 1 tank. You know, you have tiers, tier 1 to 10. Higher the tier, the stronger the tank. Um, I'm equipping it with the max of its tier right now, the max engine, the max turret, the max tracks, and the max weapon. Um, Different tracks, different engines, different guns will all affect. What you're looking at right now is the premium gold screen. World of Tanks is basically free. However, you can buy gold for extra tanks, training your crew, buying better modules, and also a premium account which will give you 100% extra XP and gold. What's your tech tree? The German tech tree. As you can see, there's a lot of tanks in this game. I believe it's about 100 or so. This is the France tech tree, which is only 2 rows right now, but it's purely because they just added it. This is the Soviet tech tree, which also has a lot of tanks that you can see. As I said before, there's 5 different types of tanks, and it's just your game style, what you'll like. But we'll talk about that a little bit in this video. As you can see right now, this is me playing World of Tanks in my Tier 9 Jagdtiger. What I like about World of Tanks, it is basically just about tanks. It is really unique because we've all played, or I think we all played, let's say Battlefield or any of those kind of games, and you can have a tank in a first-person shooter, but this is basically a first-person shooter just about tanks, which I really, really enjoy. And it's just really, really a unique concept, I think. I mean, it's the first game of its kind, and developers of this game are working on 3 other games, or 2 other games as well, which are World of Battleships and World of Warplanes. So basically the same concept, but then with ships and planes. What you're looking at right now is my M4 Sherman tank, which is a medium tank. Medium tanks in this game are not really the bulk of the game as I expected would to be. First, when I started playing this game, the bulk of this game is really heavy tanks, but medium tanks are excellent tanks. They have medium armor, medium gun, basically everything medium. They work really well in wolf packs, large groups of tanks fighting together. What we jumped over to right now is my Tier 8 German heavy tank, aka King Tiger. I really, really enjoy playing this tank as well because it has, heavy frontal armor and a good gun, so you can just sit back and take shots and deal out big punches like you'll probably see me do here in a few seconds. The way World of Tanks is divided, like it's in 5 classes, like I said before. The light tanks are basically, for scouting, painting, well, basically marking targets for the artillery, while mediums are more the workhorse all-around tanks, and the heavies are purely for, heavy combat. They push up ahead, in front of all the other tanks. And then you have the tank destroyers, which are just the snipers of every army. Um, they don't have any turrets, so basically they have to be looking towards the area they're fighting at, which is a disadvantage. But they usually have quite a large guns for their tier. And finally, we have the SPGs, which are the artillery, which are mostly used to take out, let's say, the tank destroyers and the heavy tanks, because those are just so tough targets. That's where the light tanks come in again. They scout out the targets and the artillery kills them. Light tanks are also used a lot for basically rushing through the lines, and killing the enemy arty, because if you kill the enemy arty, you'll have arty superiority, and that means you'll probably win the match purely because you have arty and the enemy don't. Me playing this game semi-actively for, let's say, a few months already, the main complaint I've heard from players is about the matchmaking system. This game works that it auto puts tanks into matches. You select your tank and you get put in a match with other random people. It's not like you can join any server. It's all done automatically. And the problem is that sometimes you're just in crappy matches. Let's say you don't have an upgraded tank and you're against tanks, let's say 3 tiers up your level. You can't do anything against them, and players just really don't like that. But I'm a bit different in it. I see the problem. It is, in my opinion, not that big of a problem, because I accept the fact sometimes you're just gonna have to be cannon fodder. Someone's got to be it for all players in this game. So opinions differ on it, and I think everybody should have their own opinion about it. Well, the graphics on this game is, people say it could be better, but me and What's for Dinner are kind of leaning towards, gameplay and replay value over graphics. We really are not that interested in the graphics, but this is currently playing on medium, so you can see it's not bad at all. The graphics, it's perfectly fine. I mean, it uses a little bit of an older engine, but for the rest, it still looks. Now, the tanks in this game are based around, let's say 1940 up to about 1960, I think. And they would keep it that way. So there's a historical fact in this game, and they have, in my opinion, found the best balance between history and gameplay. Because if we would look at history facts, most tanks would just one-hit the other tanks, and that would not make for a great gameplay. But in this game, it is pretty good. I mean, a heavy tank, you can't one-shot another heavy tank. It's all HP based, and certain guns do a certain amount of damage to another tank. You have armor and penetration values. It's quite complicated, but to bring it short, they've made the game so it's really enjoyable to play. What you will see here in a few seconds is one of my modules is going to get damaged. This game also works with modules. Every tank has modules. Modules would be guns, radios, tracks, and if one of them gets damaged by a well-placed shot, it has a great effect to your tank. Let's say if it's damaged, if your gun is damaged, you won't be as accurate. It also has crew members. You have usually 5 crew members in your tank. Let's say your loader or your gunner gets hurt or killed. It's going to be harder for you to aim and slower reload, of course. Also, one thing about the modules is you have an ammo rack, and sometimes you will just get one-shotted if you get hit properly in the ammo rack because your ammo will explode. Further, we have 4 out of 5 multiplayer, because it is really a new type of game. That was our review. We hope you enjoyed it.
Also, rate, comment, and subscribe to us. If you got any questions, put them down below, and we also do requests. So if you got a game you want us to review,